What's up, you all? Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanstradamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. And today's title is The B Lack of Perspective. Little play on words. The B Lack of Perspective. One of the things that is a great hurdle or roadblock or hindrance for Black people is context, is perspective, is nuance. These things are very difficult for Black people because their existence has been summed up in their appearance. So if everything is about the way you look, then you're not going to be very intelligent. You're not going to have very good critical thinking skills. And so most Black people believe that all of their problems in life come from the way they look. And that has really, I believe, drastically lowered the critical thinking in the Black community. It's caused them not to see the world for what it actually is. It's limited their perspective. A lot of things have happened because Black people think that the world revolves around their appearance. What's up, Cruise Missile? What's up, The Ice Cold Wolf? What's up, Tierra? What's up, Just a Regular Girl? What's up, Rashawn? What's up, Shoshana? What's up, Anna Valisa? What's up, y'all? Welcome on this Thursday evening. What's up, Willie Doc? What's up, Miss One of One? What's up, Brenda? What's up, Donna's doing it? Juan, if you would like a shirt, Juan, I can get you a shirt. You know, I sell these shirts, but I can give you one on the house. What's up, Red Pill Rocky? Y'all make sure to follow Red Pill Rocky as well. He's a good dude and a true fighter for our freedom. Not the commercial version of freedom fighting, but the actual version of freedom fighting. What's up, Calvin? What's up, Nikki? What's up, D Akunwe? Akunwe. But listen, y'all, let's get started. So first on the agenda is Druski. I don't know if you all follow Druski, but Druski did a skit. Now listen, I personally like Druski. I think he is hilarious. I think his content, as far as his comedic content is genius. So I'm a fan of Druski. He did a skit about NASCAR, and it started a bit of a controversy, but I'm gonna let you all watch it. I'm gonna ask you all, what do you all think caused this controversy?
Here's the love, here's the honor. If you can't come in her, come on her. Yeah! Hey, Suanna.
She's not listening.
Hey, come up. You need to listen to your nana. Go ahead, baby. Girl, you crazy now. Hey, me, Ma. How you doing, baby? How you doing, baby? Good. All right now. Mama. Born in the USA. Hey, you lost, boy?
No, I'm going to the race.
What race?
NASCAR race.
You going to NASCAR?
Yes, sir. A little bit.
You ain't lost, is you?
No, I'm good. I'm going to the race, sir.
Sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Find something safe to do, boy. and muds. Yeah! Woo! Bring on the truth, baby! Oh, that fucker will go.
Who are you?
I see. Dan Arthur.
Where you been, Devin?
Dan Arthur. Oh, South Dakota.
Yeah.
Damn right. Proud to be American.
So I have two perspectives on this. The first perspective is, why do you all think that white people got upset about this? Thank you, Quay. Why do you all think that white people got upset about this? Because this has caused controversy. Basically, some white people are saying, so this is whiteface. So they guess, they're saying that blackface must be okay if whiteface is okay. ALL said they're stupid. White people like funny jokes. Because if the roles were reversed, the majority of black people would be offended. Bingo. You see, what Druski did, to me, this was hilarious. What white people got offended by, the ones that did get offended, was the person being racist. You see, the problem is that if you always play a white person, if you're black, you play a white person and they're always racist, then that is the equivalent to white face. Because if blackface portrays black people in a negative light, then whiteface does the same. The only difference is that white people are not allowed to be offended by things that are actually racist. And so in my opinion, I don't think people had a problem with this skit. I think folks had a problem with him making the person in the skit racist. White people are tired of being called racist when they aren't even thinking about black people. Imagine you're not even thinking about somebody cutting on the news and they're calling you racist. Like, it's literally insane. You can look at any movie. They literally have every antagonist in all these movies are white. I dare you all to go watch the movie, came out last year. It's called The Beetle. It's a Marvel movie called The Beetle. That movie has so much propaganda in it. It is insane. It is insane. Like, the white people are bad and the brown people, Hispanics, are good. It's crazy. So I think that people had a problem with the skit because he portrayed the guy to be racist. That's the issue. And this is what I talk about today's title, the B lack of perspective, is that black people don't understand what's going on because black folks are oblivious to the fact of how white people are portrayed by the media and Hollywood and social media. If a white person is arguing with a black person, how many people assume that the white person is not racist? That's the question. The question is, how many times do you assume the white person is not racist? It's very rare. Anytime you see a disagreement between white and black, the assumption is the black person is right and the white person is wrong. That is the assumption. My bad. Not the Beetle. I'm sorry. The Ice Cold Wolf. Blue Beetle. My fault. It's a Marvel movie called Blue Beetle. If you go watch that movie, it is literally propaganda throughout the entire film. It is literally a propaganda piece dressed up as a superhero movie. But black people lack understanding of context, nuance, and perspective. And so white people are tired of being portrayed in a certain way. Black people were fighting and screaming to not be shown correctly on the evening news. They said it was racist to show black folks committing all these crimes. You know what they did? They stopped reporting them. Now they rarely report them. Now you got to go online to read all the chaos that black folks are causing in these cities. You see, the issue isn't equality. It isn't being fair. It's not the issue. The issue is revenge. The issue is that Black people want revenge for a propagandized version of history. They want revenge from programming and propaganda. And guess what? That was the point. The whole point of all the propaganda was to make Black people hate white people. The average white person. I'll give you all a prime example. I went to a Georgia-Florida football game one year down in Jacksonville. Georgia-Florida, it's a big game of the year. Georgia-Florida football game down in Jacksonville. And I went to this tailgate, and when I tell you, they tailgate outside of the stadium. When I tell you, white people, you walk by and make eye contact. Man, come over here, have a drink. Come have some food. Anytime I go to a white tailgate, I get shown so much love. It's not even funny. All you gotta do is make eye contact. All you gotta do is look lost. They're gonna invite you over, talk to you, offer you some drink, offer you some food, crack some jokes with you. Every time I've gone to a white tailgate, it has literally been the best time. So this notion that most white people are racist is propaganda, and it's a lie. It's not true. I've been living in the South for over 20 years, and I've yet to see the KKK. I've yet to see a white nationalist. I've yet to see a cross burning. I've yet to see a white hood. I've yet to see any of this stuff. I've yet to experience racism. So the issue with the Druski skit, it wasn't the fact that he was portraying what you could call a redneck white person at NASCAR. I thought the skit was hilarious, but I just think that white people are tired of being portrayed as racist. White people aren't thin-skinned. You can make fun of them y'all do all the time. Think about it. The most made fun of group on the planet is white people. Everybody makes fun of white people. So the issue couldn't be Druski making fun of white people. Everybody makes fun of white people, the entire planet. If everybody has a racial joke, the butt of the joke is white people, 99% of the time. I'm speaking in context. I'm speaking with nuance. I'm giving you the correct perspective. 99% of racial jokes are about white people. So the issue isn't Druski dressing up as a white man because the skit is freaking hilarious. That ain't the issue. The issue is making the person racist. And white people are tired of it because it's not true. They're not thinking about y'all. They're not thinking about you. Black people go to NASCAR. If NASCAR is so racist, then why are black people going to NASCAR? Remember that guy? They said it was a noose hanging from his garage where his car was, and really it was a rope to pull down the gate, but the media ran with it, and he didn't say it wasn't a noose because he's part of the propaganda. Remember that? It was a rope hanging to pull the gate, to pull the garage door down. He talking about it was a noose, and he didn't correct him and say it wasn't a noose. He let it build all up, just propaganda. White people love to have a good time. That's his name. Thank you, T. Kangs. Bubba Wallace. It was Bubba Wallace allowed himself to be a willing participant in this racial propaganda, knowing good and well that rope hanging was to pull that garage door down. It was not a noose hanging. So again, the issue isn't Druski doing this hilarious skit. That is not the issue. The issue is him making the guy racist, and white people are tired of being called racist. When you call a real white person racist, they get offended. When you call a libtard racist, they want to bow down and kiss your boot. It's the difference. A real white person gets offended at you calling them racist. A libtard wants to prove they're not. Two different reactions. One gets offended. One wants to go harder in the paint to prove they aren't racist. So again, white people are the butt of everybody's jokes. White people are. Everybody makes jokes about white people. That ain't the issue. The issue is making all the jokes racist. The issue is the media calling white people racist. The issue is the movies portraying them as racist. That's the issue. The machine saying that all white people are racist. That's the problem. And the only way to not be racist is to be a liberal crash out dummy. I reject it. I reject it. But shout out to Druski. Druski is hilarious. The skit was hilarious. But let's continue. Today's title again is The B Lack of Perspective. The B Lack of Perspective. Tierra Barnes said Dave Chappelle did it too. Yeah. Even though Dave Chappelle played Clayton Bigsby, a black man in the Klan, he's still making fun of white people being racist, though. Why don't y'all ever show the good white people? Why don't y'all ever show the white people that are patriotic, that are conservative, that are Christian, that are America first, that are Republican? Why don't y'all ever show them in a good light? You notice that? Why don't y'all ever show them in a good light? Why don't y'all ever show them as good? Why is it that the only time you show a white person good is if they're a libtard? It's called propaganda. It's called programming. Dave Chappelle skit, Clayton Bigsby, hilarious. Druski skit, NASCAR, hilarious. But white people are tired of being called racist. Why? Because it might be a joke on stage, but when the TV is cut on, it's real. When social media is viewed, it's real. When a movie is watched, it's real. When a false flag event occurs, it's real. That's why it's a problem. It's not comedy. It's not comedy if you don't show both sides. It's not comedy if you don't show both sides. The reason why comedy is so funny is because it's true. But the problem is that comedy about race isn't necessarily true. It's not. When it comes to white people, it's not. It's not. But let's continue. Let's continue.
You was a dead man. You was a dead man. The moment you took my daughter in that room and you couldn't tell me, you couldn't show me a fucking video or no motherfucking, nigga, this for any motherfucking worker that think that they finna motherfucking put my daughter in a motherfucking room and think they ain't gotta talk to me. You was a damn man.
Release right now. You want to go now?
You better back the fuck up. I'm already ready to go to jail.
So no, this was not a skit. This was a guy. He's choking out a CPS worker. He tried to choke him to death. The guy lived. Trial begins for Scottsdale man who broadcast attack on Department of Child Safety worker. Let's just go to, he was waiting for the right time to attack, and that happens exactly 1 hour and 2 seconds of his live stream. Prosecutor Matthew Black told jurors in his opening statement. Black argued that Johnson was driven to attack Cundiff after learning DCS had interviewed his daughter at school without notifying him. When Johnson went to school seeking answers, he questioned staff who said they couldn't explain what had happened and called police. Black said. An officer told him to contact DCS directly. Johnson did. He went to the agency the next day and demanded to speak with the investigator. That meeting was set for November the 5th, according to Black. What followed wasn't a routine interview, it was a trap. He titles the stream, "I Found the Man," Black said. Black told jurors the video shows Johnson sitting calmly through nearly an hour of questioning before launching the assault. He answers Elijah's questions, even goes as far as saying to Elijah, "I think DCS services may be beneficial for me and my children. This is just an illusion." Black said, "It's bait." The video shows Johnson offering Cundiff a fist bump, then lunging at him from behind, wrapping an arm around his neck, and Black said, then Cundiff's limbs flail as he collapses out of frame. You're going to be able to count every second he was unconscious, hear all the grunts of exertion from the defendant as he's trying to squeeze tighter and tighter and tighter, Black said. The prosecution says that the evidence will show that this was a deeply emotional confrontation brought on by frustration and a feeling of betrayal, Tatso said. He said Johnson's reaction was driven by panic and outrage, not premeditation. Johnson's daughter came home one day and told him she didn't want to go back to school after she met with a DCS worker behind closed doors, Tatso said. Johnson had never been told that a man would be alone with his daughter, and the silence from the school and DCS had left him feeling powerless, Tatso said. Yes, he did say you was a dead man, Tatso said. These are raw emotions coming from an individual who was frustrated and upset that someone interviewed his daughter without his knowledge, not a planned killing or words of premeditation. So yes, it was not a skit. It was a real event. He tried to kill this man because this guy interviewed his daughter at school. Again, if DCS or CPS interviewing your child, it's usually for a reason. If you've done nothing wrong, it shouldn't be a problem. His daughter coming home saying she want to go back to school, I don't know if I believe that, because again, Black people lie. So he could just lie about why she didn't want to go back to school. We don't know, but I don't believe what he says at all. But it was planned out. It was premeditated, and he tried to kill him. He tried to do it on camera, and they asked him to release him. He said he's ready to go to jail. So you saw it. But it is premeditated, yes. Set him up on camera. So this is why I go so hard on the Bliggities, because you see how the prosecution, the defense was justifying his behavior. This is what they're going to start doing for Black people. They're going to start saying the reason why they're doing it now in court. The reason why they're going to tie it back to racism. I'm just letting you all know. So they're going to start saying, because they're going to start cracking down on crime more, and because there's so much evidence out there and so much data, they're going to have to justify the crime. You justify the crime by saying the system is causing Black people to react this way. It's the racism. It's the oppression. It's causing Black folks to lash out. Therefore, you can't hold them accountable for their actions. The same thing they tried to pass over in London, where they said that people that were of color had to be judged differently because of racism. They tried to pass this in London. They tried to pass it earlier this year. It didn't pass, but they tried to pass it. So I'm just letting you all know what they're preparing to do. They're preparing to allow Black people to wreak havoc because, again, they need for America to collapse. The communist agenda is still at play. The globalist agenda is still at play, and Black people are the pawns that are going to be used. That has not changed. It has not changed. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Wrong with black people now. They don't act like they're the smartest. They don't perform as though they're the smartest or the first.
What are you talking about?
Why are they leading the way in morality? And how come if they're so smart and they're the first, why don't they create rather than destroy?
They did create back in the day.
I'm talking about now, like over the last 1,150 years.
Let me finish my point, okay? Not only did they create things on Earth, but did you know that there are pyramids on Mars?
Are you saying they went up there and created
How'd
pyramids?
they get there?
How did they get there?
Look, not only are there pyramids on Mars, they have them put out in mathematical maps, and then they have a mountain that was carved with a man's face and looked like he had an Egyptian type garb on. Now, if you are a Martian and you're proud of your people, wouldn't you be making images of your people? Why make one of a humanoid?
Well, how did
You know, we don't make pictures of Martians, so we know that there's a good possibility that the pyramids are from here, and so are the people.
And honestly, at this point, black people have to be stopped. Now, somebody put in the comments, this guy's a professor, but they have to be stopped because this kind of thought process is allowed to run rampant in the black community. Most black people believe what he just said. Now you're going to say, Blanche, no, most black people believe that black folks went to Mars and built pyramids. Most black folks believe any kind of fantasy dealing with black people. Most black people. I'd venture to say 95+%. Think about it. They listen to Farrakhan. Just think about who black people follow, and just think about all these conspiracies and mythologies. Now, just think about who they follow. Most of your black leaders believe in some of this stuff. So think about your Brother Polites, your Bobby Hemmett's, your Fred. What's the guy's name? The big dude. Oh man, I forgot his name. I forgot his name right now. I got a brain fart. But anyway, my point is, Farrakhan believes in all kind of aliens. They believe, the Nation of Islam believes that Elijah Muhammad did not die. He is on a mothership in outer space. True story. The Muslims, the Nation of Islam, believe that Elijah Muhammad is on a spaceship, a mothership in outer space. So again, where black people lack context, the understanding of context, perspective, and nuance, they fill in those gaps with fantasy and magical thinking. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Americans in this country are the only groups. They have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them.
But currently there's not an African American culture?
No.
Yes, there is.
What is it? Name 2 value systems in the African American culture.
Value system?
Yes. Name 2 taboos in the African American culture system. Name 2 traditions, by the way, in the African American culture system. There is no value for freedom if you don't understand what it is. The concept of free. You have to have a foundation on which it would balance when you ask for it. Civil right, they give it to you. You have no culture. Nancy, you've been here, born here. Why would you be surprised if I say African Americans don't have a culture? What, twerking? So anything
but I feel like African American culture has definitely
You say
mainstream.
No, you say the word, the African American culture. What is it? Okay,
like
fine.
like hip hop,
Oh,
not
Jesus
hip hop.
Christ.
I mean, I don't want to.
Look,
Yes, I feel like
you
it's-
haven't thought about it. It's fine. Don't make things up.
I'm not making it up.
Okay,
I feel like
Don't lie. You haven't thought about it, which is most black people, they don't think about this kind of stuff. You haven't thought about it. Don't lie. Because you about to lie. About to make something up. Talking about hip hop. Just say, I haven't thought about it. But you can't because it's too much pride.
Hit me. You feel. You should know. You were born and raised here.
yes, but I have a.
Are you African American?
I'm Haitian American.
That's correct. Do you see why you were being specific with that? Because anybody who encounters you already knows you before. If they know you are Haitian, at least two things comes to their mind.
What is that?
If they've been to Haiti, they can look at work ethics and they say, yes, Haitians, I know them. Service industry, they know where they do well. Food, they can say yes. And even language, Creole.
Right.
And they can say, oh, I love Haitians. Because they saw the culture in abstract before they encountered you. So people go over the bridge of your culture, your tradition, your customs, and that helps them to know how to
address you.
Exactly. I'm saying to you, any people who ask for these things, which are abstract, freedom, for example, independence, for example, and civil rights, for example, voting rights, for example, you must have a foundation on which these things are going to balance. Because the people there have to uniformly agree with consensus. This is our way of life. The do's and the don'ts involved in our culture. Even if you have to create an artificial culture.
Is that why the civil rights movement is considered dead?
It's dead and useless. They got it, but they could not balance it on any foundation.
Now, listen, I love Frank Zanu. But black people do have a culture. They do. It's a culture that is anti-God. So anything that's anti-God, anti-freedom, anti-stability, anti-morals, anti-standards, anti-character, that's what black culture is. Black culture is the leftovers of anything that's not good and not godly. So Willie Doc said black culture is communism. It's communism. Now, what Frank Zanu is saying is 1,000% correct. That from a technical aspect, black people don't have a culture. But black people do have a culture because your culture is the way you do things. I'll give you an example. Part of black culture is voting Democrat. Being democratic is a part of black culture. The black church is a part of black culture. I didn't say Jesus. I said the black church is a part of black culture. Elevating the woman over the man is a part of black culture. The matriarchal social order is a part of black culture. Big mama, there's no phrase for granddad, grandfather. Ain't no big papa. Big papa was Biggie Smalls. It's big mama. Big mama has the title. She has the position. That's black culture. So, for example, God's order is Christ, man, woman, child. Black culture is woman, child, miss a few spaces, weave, wig, miss a few spaces, high foods, high in trans fat and cholesterol, miss some more spaces, decadence, miss some more spaces. Then you get to the man, and then you miss about 100 spaces. Then you got Jesus. That's the order in black culture. So Black folks do have a culture. Black folks' culture has mainly come from communism. It's come from Hollywood, propaganda. I was thinking, think about Black exploitation films and think about how they changed Hollywood. Think about the stuff that the Black exploitation films were showing. They were showing nudity, sex, drugs, violence, murder. Like, think about that genre of film and how it opened up Pandora's box. And dear Black people, listen to me. Listen to me. They're going to use you to justify the sin. So again, they're making you all the moral hierarchy. So that means if you all do something that's bad, it's not bad because you all are doing it. So we know that abortion is child sacrifice. We know this, right? But how do they frame it? They frame it as Black women need abortions. So if Black women need abortions, then guess what? That means abortions can't be wrong. Do you see the game they play with you all? They've made you all the moral hierarchy, and then they got you all to do the devil's work. So when it comes to Black culture, you all have a culture. It's just a culture of death, destruction, and damnation. That's all. Black culture is single mothers. Black culture is children cannot read, write, or do math on grade level. Black culture is celebrating criminals. Black culture is not snitching. Black culture is sexually deviant behavior. This is Black culture. This is what the masses of Black people do. Black culture is high STD rates. It's Black culture. Black culture is poor health. So Black culture is just everything that's just anti-God. That's all. It's just an anti-Christ culture. Somebody said twerking on cars. Exactly. Black culture. But shout out to Frank Zanu. PB said 82% of Black children in America are born to single mothers. That's culture. 82% of something is your culture. Think about it. The majority of what a group of people do, that's the culture. Jigabooery culture. Let's continue. Let's continue. Here goes some more context.
I just couldn't live without all white folk. Like all of them. Just imagine if Thanos snapped his fingers and he took away all the white people. Yeah, we might celebrate them first couple of
He got that music in the background. He was basically going to say he can't live without white people, but it was all about white people serving him. Everything he said he needed white people for, it was like music, food, something. It was like something they could offer to him. It wasn't just I want white people to exist just to exist. It's they serve a purpose for me. It was just a dumb video, but I don't want to play it because it's gonna give me a copyright for the music. I already know. I stay getting hit with a copyright. But let's continue. And again, we on perspective.
Man, the Anunnaki, the Anuna of Ki is us. We are the Anuna, the physical presence of God on Ki, which is planet Earth. Anu, nah. Anu being the Heavenly Father, and those who follow him being the Anuna, like the Elohim. You see what I'm saying? Like El Elo, and those that follow him was the Elohim. Well, Anu had those follow him, and they was called Na. Anu, nah, that's Anu crew from Earth. And we lived here in heaven, North America, like I told y'all, in ancient Sumeria. And then we sent out ships of 50, 25 men, 25 women to Africa, Europe, and all the unknown worlds to explore.
I don't think y'all heard what he just said. I'm gonna play it again because I don't think y'all heard what he just said. I'm gonna play one more time. I gotta play it again.
Man, the Anunnaki, the Anuna of Ki, is us. We are the Anuna, the physical presence of God on Ki, which is planet Earth. Anu, nah. Anu being the Heavenly Father, and those who follow him being the Anuna, like the Elohim. You see what I'm saying? Like Elo, and those that follow him was the Elohim. Well, Anu had those follow him, and they was called Na. Anu, nah, that's Anu crew from Earth. And we lived here in heaven, North America, like I told y'all, in ancient Sumeria. And then we sent out ships of 50, 25 men, 25 women to Africa, Europe, and all the unknown worlds to explore.
This is why Black people have to be stopped. Because the majority of Black people believe this stuff. And I know folks are listening right now saying, I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You believe anything that puts you at the front of the line, anything. So if it makes you come out on top, you believe it. You've already been programmed. You've already been conditioned. This man just said that Black people, okay, here go my question. If Black people were the Anunnaki, and obviously I think he's saying God is Black. So God is Black, Anunnaki, heaven was in North America, Black people ruled the earth, then what happened? What happened? That's my question. I never get an answer. How did y'all go from literally being gods on the earth to being conquered by people living in caves? I've never got an answer on that. No one's ever been able to answer that question. What happened? Black people get on social media and brag every day about how great they are. Then they also get on social media and complain about being oppressed. So you're telling me you're the greatest thing that God ever created, so much to the point that you are gods, but yet you're oppressed by the simple-minded and primitive white man. I just can't wrap my head around it. Even Yakub. Take Yakub. So Yakub created white people. Yakub said, I'm going to take out all of the bad in Black people, and I'm going to put it in white people. This is the story. He took out all the bad stuff from Black people, put it in white people. The white people the white people get banished and forced to live in caves. Now, meanwhile, the Black people are walking around like perfect beings on the planet. All of their bad stuff is in white people. White people come back out of the caves and take over the gods, the kings and the queens and the goddesses, takes them over. Then the white people that were primitive with all the bad stuff in them create societies that all the people around the world want to live in. Think about that. Think about white people supposed to have all of the bad stuff in them They're not redeemable, but yet they've created societies that everybody around the world wants to live in. You can't make this story up. Do you know how great life is being obligatory? You get to just wake up and just make up anything and have the majority of people either not question you or believe it. It's a great existence. It's a great existence. It's a great existence.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers? Are you prepared to defend this land? This president decides to continue to break this constitution.
That's Brandon Johnson, mayor of Chicago, playing the race card. After Trump called Brandon incompetent and announced plans to send the National Guard to Chicago, Johnson claimed the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men. Well, we can't read minds, but we can read data. So while Johnson talks about Trump's supposed mental state, let's talk about Chicago's actual state. 65% of Chicago residents are concerned about public safety where they live. Over Labor Day weekend alone, 50 people were shot and 8 died. Now, some point out that crime dropped in early 2025. Johnson's calling it historic lows and levels not seen in a decade. That's the same line that DC politicians used when Trump deployed forces there. And they're right. And here's the problem. Just because something improves doesn't mean it's acceptable. Chicago's murder rate has been nearly triple the national average for over a decade. In 2024, it was 3 times higher than Los Angeles and nearly 5 times higher than New York City per capita. Parts of the South Side have murder rates higher than Honduras, one of the most dangerous countries in the world. There's a reason why people call it Chirac. So to make the problem clear, imagine someone who's 100 pounds overweight for 20 years loses 25 pounds. That's progress, but they're still far from healthy. That's Chicago right now. Ignoring these numbers is base rate fallacy in action. The tendency to focus on narrow slices of data while ignoring the underlying statistical context. Politicians love this because it makes bad situations sound good with technically true statistics. And what's more,
So Mayor Johnson is okay. So black people and liberals are going to vote for him again. That speech he just gave, he's going to get reelected. Like if you go against Trump, you're going to get reelected. It's just, that's how low the bar is. I'm sorry. If you take a hard stand against Trump, you're going to get reelected. Trump is the boogeyman. If you stand up to him, you're going to get the votes. And so Brandon Johnson is just right now, he's just campaigning to be reelected as mayor. That's all. That's all he's doing. And it's going to work. Somebody said, Blanche, ask black people, how exactly did black people build America, and see how many factual answers you get. That lie is persistent. So black people did not technically build America. Black people contributed to the economic growth of America. Black people may have built certain things in America, but to say that black people built America, that America was built on the backs of black people is a false statement. Now, contextually, everybody made contributions to America being built, mostly made by white men, mostly. And I say good, because if it was black men doing it, it would never became a country. If black people started America, it would have been conquered. First of all, black folks would have sold all of it. Y'all know that black people would have sold America. It would have been sold. wouldn't be the United States. The black folks would have been selling off chunks of America, and they would have left themselves with the worst part of land in the middle of America, and they would have been blaming white people. So thank God that white folks built America. Thank God. But no, America was not built on the backs of black people. There were more white people picking cotton than black people. There were more white people picking tobacco than black people. There were more white people picking sugarcane than black people. There were more white people working than there were black slaves. 3% of white people own slaves. So that means that 97% of white people did not. Even if I account for women and children, that still leaves the vast majority of white men working. They weren't rich. So this notion that black people were only ones picking cotton is a lie. But let's continue.
Despite the statistics, many residents don't feel that life is improving.
Our children can't walk around the community without fear of being hurt or kidnapped or having a drive-by. So it's what these numbers that they're expressing, we don't feel it in our quality of life.
And many of them blame Johnson. At best, he has an approval rating of 26%, and at worst, 6%. Even among black voters, more disapprove than approve. So while Johnson redirects focus to Trump's supposed racism, who's suffering in Chicago? Everyone, but especially black people. When results can't speak for themselves, leaders like this speak about race. They want you focused on the race card, not the other cards in the deck. Chicago's violence isn't because of racism or fascism, it's because of incompetence. So rather than deflecting to race when you can't defend results, get better results, because that's what effective leaders do, rather than making everything about black and white. Numbers don't lie, but people lie with numbers. That's why base rate fallacy is one of the logical fallacies I cover in Clear Thinker. If you want to learn how to spot media manipulation like this, check out the free preview at clearthinkeracademy.com.
Hey, yeah, check out Clear Thinker. This guy is good. His name is That Kazan. I think his name is Zach Kazan. But yeah, he has good content though. Check out Clear Thinker. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Intimidated by my brain acumen.
Using those petite
or something of other such nature. They always try and sound smart, but they sound stupider. Just speak plainly.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I've seen him. If you would, are you afraid of the young, angry black man that stare? If you see a group of black men on the street, you cross the street. That is racist. But I know because you are afraid of my intellectual prowess.
Yeah, while you're crossing the street, you afraid you can't spell onomatopoeia?
That's right. That's right. You cross the street. I see you. I say he crossed the street. There go John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. That motherfucker's my name too. I can spell. I got vowels and shit.
And then he robs you.
No. Because you're not smart enough to defend yourself.
Because you were either scared or not scared.
Exactly,
Either way,
yeah.
it's an insult.
That's right.
No, you earned it.
I have intellectual prowess. I just have not learned how to make it applicable.
And that's the reason I got cancer.
No, I got diabetes because I heard the N-word once.
That's right.
I heard it at Denny's. Lost my foot.
Pow! Just like that.
Now, do you think black people are going to think that's just a joke? Do you think black people are going to say that's funny? You think black folks are going to say that's not racism? Do you think black folks are going to take this as a joke? Do you think black folks are going to take this? And his impersonation is good. It's good. It's actually good. But do you think that black people are going to take what he said as just a joke? It's just comedy. is being funny. Of course not. They're going to think that he's being racist. This is why they got mad at Druski's skit. This is why. Because if somebody else did it that was white and played a black person to the T, they would be upset. Now, folks going to bring up Tropic Thunder, but Tropic Thunder was a character talking about white people. Think about it. Think about the character and what the rhetoric was of the character. Yes, they're all white. Everybody in there is white. Everybody in there is white.
They are intimidated by my brain acumen.
Using those petite
or something of other such nature. They always try and sound smart, but they sound stupider. Just speak plainly.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I've seen him. If you would, are you afraid of the young, angry black man? If you see a group of black men on the street, you cross the street. That is racist. But I know because you are afraid of my intellectual prowess.
Yeah, while you crossing the street, you afraid you can't spell onomatopoeia?
That's right. That's right. You cross the street. I see you. I say he crossed the street. There go John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. That motherfucker's my name too. I can spell. I got vowels and shit.
And then he robs you.
No. Because you're not smart enough to defend yourself.
Because you were either scared or not scared.
Exactly,
Either way,
yeah.
it's an insult.
That's right.
No, you earned it.
That joke right there is so underrated. He said either you were scared or not scared. Either way is an insult. That was comedic genius. He said if you get robbed, either you were scared or you weren't scared. Either way, it was an insult. That is comedic genius.
I have intellectual prowess. I just have not learned how to make it applicable.
And that's the reason I got cancer.
No, I got diabetes because I heard the N-word once.
That's
right.
I heard it at Denny's. Lost my foot.
This man said, I heard it at Denny's and lost my foot. Listen, I don't care what y'all say. That guy is funny. That guy is funny. And the fake made up names, right? But the average black person, the majority of black people are going to be offended by this joke. They're going to be offended. So it's not about comedy or white face or nothing about, no. It's just that black people love to dish it, but they can't take it. Black people love to dish it. Black people talk about white people all day long. 25 hours a day and 8 days a week, black people talk about white people. But the moment a white person says something, black folks throw a fit. Let's continue. I don't want to play the music. I just wanted to show y'all this is a brief intermission. Just queens walking. That's all. Just queens walking. A lot of blue. A lot of blue. What's going on? Are they some? She wasn't in blue. She wanted to be different. That's all. Just our queens. I'm just celebrating our queens. You know, it's tough to deal with, y'all. You got to deal with obesity and fake hair and an attitude. That's tough. Think about that. You got to deal with fake hair, obesity, and an attitude. That's tough. My goodness. I told y'all black men are POWs, prisoners of war, prisoners of wrath, prisoners of the weave, and prisoners of the weak. Oh, one more. And prisoners of the weight. Goodness. The Smitty Suter said the herd. Paul said the dance of elephants. That's wrong, y'all. Listen, y'all. We got to respect our queens now. Don't do that. Don't do that. The reason why our queens are obese is because of racism. The diet don't work the same. The diet works for white women, but not black women. So that's why. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But let's continue. I got some good videos too, y'all. I got some good ones. Ooh, I got some good ones. Okay, I'm gonna take y'all to the fantasy, then I'm gonna bring y'all back.
My greatness. I am coming for it all.
I'm gonna cut the sound off, but this is another AI video. Just I guess it's supposed to be Jesus. You know, black folks didn't understand hair like wool didn't mean that it was they didn't understand that. Hair white like wool didn't mean it was black hair. It didn't mean it was black hair. Somebody said it looks like Satan. Right. The downfall of black folks is going to be AI. Because with AI, black folks can't create anything. That's Skywalker right there. Not Luke Skywalker. That's Jamal Skywalker. Tyrone Cloud Stepper. Jamal Skywalker, Tyrone Cloud Stepper, and Antoine Atmosphere Dancer. I don't know. But let's continue. When y'all enjoy these black folks' hard work when it comes to AI.
Have I seen a KKK member?
Have you seen white supremacies?
I've seen Donald Trump.
Have you seen white supremacy?
Have I seen racism?
You're not answering my question.
White supremacy is a concept. How would I see it?
It's not real?
It's a concept.
So it's not real?
It's not a fungible item.
So how do you know that it exists then?
How do I know that a concept exists?
Yes.
Well, you can study it.
White supremacy.
People say they are.
So you are mixed with white. Your mother is white. Would that make half of you a white supremacy?
No.
Why not?
White supremacist doesn't mean white person.
What does it mean?
It means someone who believes that white people are superior.
And you believe that?
Do I believe that white supremacism means...
No, do you believe white people are superior?
No.
You don't believe white people are superior?
No.
Do you know other blacks who believe that white people are superior?
Yeah.
You see, he couldn't answer the question. They can never answer the question. They can never answer the question. Have you seen white supremacy? Have you seen the white supremacists? I've seen Donald Trump. It's just Just disgusting. It really truly is disgusting. But let's continue.
Spaniards running through the mountains and forests of Spain like dogs and chimps. So, like, that's probably why Spaniards are the most racist people on the planet and just hate everything that is darker than them.
Okay.
Furthermore, you have a lot of Spaniards that like to call themselves Boricua. They're not Boricua because they were born in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, you have a lot of Spaniards that moved there from Spain and married their first cousins, half sisters, and nieces and stuff like that to get back that white skin, to breed the black out. So you have a lot of Spaniards in Puerto Rico that like to think that they're Boricua, but Boricua has to do with indigenous blood. It has to do with Taino blood.
Okay,
so,
Taino.
Yep.
And those are Native Americans.
Yep. So, you know, Spaniards didn't bring anything to the world. Everything that the Spaniards did or are known for, they were taught by the Moors. So whenever you hear that stereotype about cave people or about white folks smelling like wet dogs, it's not all Europeans. It's specifically talking about Spaniards. English dude and a French dude told me the only good Spaniard is a dead one. Most people like to say Spanish when they're talking about Latin people. So even if they mean Mexican, Venezuelan, Dominican, Puerto Rican, whatever, they always say Spanish. You know what I'm saying? But Spanish has to do with Spain.
Okay.
You call them gringos que hablan español. Crackers that talk Spanish. Pretty much the only set of Europeans I can't stand. French woman, you know what I'm saying? And another lady.
Now, I don't want to, but this guy is stacking the shelf at a grocery store talking about who he doesn't like. I'm sorry. This guy is talking crazy, talking about he can't stand a whole group of people, and he's stocking the shelf at a grocery store. I'm not talking about his profession. I'm not saying that it's a bad job to have. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the audacity to be missing teeth, stocking a shelf, condemning an entire group of people. Why simultaneously bigging yourself up? Because when they say the Moors, they're saying black people. And again, I tell you all, black people believe this stuff. This video is viral. Some guy stocking his shelf at a random grocery store. I'm not saying he doesn't have wisdom or knowledge. I'm just saying I got to take what he's saying with a grain of salt. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to dig too deep into what he's saying. I'm just not. You said he might be Dominican. He could be. He probably could be.
From Britain, they told me that Spanish hate just has to do with self-hate because they were the last set of people to learn to walk upright, to know how to talk a language, to use fire, and even to know how to bathe. Them Moors shaved them down, taught them to bathe, and taught them everything that they know. The only place in Europe, like, they depended on the Moors for their golden age. Spain is not known for anything else other than what the Moors taught them. That's why they're so disagreeable about dark-skinned people.
Until this day.
To this day.
You know what's funny? I've never heard, think about this, right? I've never in my life even heard a Spanish person talk about race. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I've never heard a Spanish person give a racial commentary or slur even. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've never seen it though. I've never seen a Spanish person from Spain giving commentary about race. I've never seen it. Not saying it doesn't happen, it doesn't exist. I just never seen it. I don't know where he's been, but everybody I know that was from Spain that I've met in my life never talked about race. Well, Shoshana says, I have. Paul says, I have. I haven't. Every person I know that's actually from Spain never talked about race. Now, Latin people, yes. But from Spain, I've never heard it. Listen, anybody can be racist. Anybody can be racist. Even though I don't believe in racism at all, because folks have a reason why they don't like a group of people. I don't believe in racism, but I'm just saying I have not heard a Spanish person from Spain talking about race. Not saying it doesn't happen. I've never heard it. I've never heard it to the point where this guy says that Spanish people hate dark-skinned people. Somebody said, watch them in the football. I mean, they could be at the soccer matches. They could be in soccer. They could be.
To this day. They were the literal cave people on the fucking planet. Wow. Everybody else had villages, language, culture, everything. Spaniards were running around Spain like dogs and chimps. That's why they like to call black people monkeys, because they were the real monkeys on the planet.
Oh my goodness.
And any other European will tell you that.
Yeah.
Again. I'm not saying it's not true. Now listen, somebody said maybe at the soccer matches, maybe they do. It's possible. But Spanish people from Spain are not known for just disliking black people. I don't see that anywhere. Like when people are going off on white people, they never talk about Spanish people. They talk about French, the Germans. They never talk about the Spanish people though. When they talk about who's racist, they rarely, if never, bring up Spanish people.
Other European from anywhere else in Europe that knows history will tell you that. That's why to this day in Spain, it's only in Spain that they throw banana peels out to the black athletes playing football. They still do that stupid shit. They're pathetic, man. So it was Moors, you know what I'm saying, that were responsible for Spanish. All that stuff they talking, they didn't even have a language when them Moors found them. They're barking and grunting and shit. They are the lowest form of Europeans. They have not accomplished anything in and of themselves. Everything that they have ever done in the modern day has to be attributed to the Moors who civilized them. If any other European tribe caught their asses back then, they would have wiped them out, and gladly so.
So I think that somebody mentioned it earlier about him probably being Dominican or something, because this hate towards Spanish people is like, it's beyond, it's something else here. I don't know what it is, but it's something else. It's something else here. But again, most black people believe this stuff. They believe it. Shoshana says Spain looks down on blacks. The darker, the worse they treat you. I haven't been to Spain, so I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. I'd have to go over there and look. But what I do know is every story I hear about how they treat black people somewhere else, if I go, I never get treated that way. I never get treated that way. But let's continue. Let's continue.
I know a lot of y'all said, I beg your pardon, Colonel Sanders is married to a black lady? Yes, honey, that's right. He kept me hidden in the basement, girl. I still can hear his voice. Fire, bitch, fire. Now listen here, all y'all, America, change is here. Get used to it. And don't be confusing me with no Aunt Jemima. You know, the lady was on the box. Honey, I am on the barrel.
This racism, Is this racism or is it comedy?
I know a lot of y'all said, I beg your pardon, Colonel Sanders is married to a black lady? Yes, honey, that's right. He kept me hidden in the basement, girl. I still can hear his voice. Fly, bitch, fly. Now listen here, all of y'all, America, change is here. Get used to it. And don't be confusing me with no Aunt Jemima. You know, the lady was on the box. Honey, I am on the barrel.
You know what I thought about? Do you know how good KFC was back then? Do you know, hold up, do y'all know how good KFC was back then? Could you imagine how good it was back then? Like, you know, more natural chicken. Goodness. Oh, it was so good. KFC, because I listen, I remember being a child. KFC was excellent. This back in the 80s. KFC was excellent. Excellent. And Church's Chicken, excellent. Excellent. I heard about Pioneer's Chicken, yes. I don't know. I just thought about this time period. I thought about, ooh, that chicken was good back then. Goodness. I remember years ago, like maybe like 10 years ago, we used to get done hooping and we used to go to the KFC buffet. There's a KFC buffet by me and all you can eat KFC. There's only 2 items that weren't all you can eat. And it was the potato wedges and it was the chicken pot pies. Everything else was all you can eat right up here. KFC buffet. And they used to have cherry cobbler, blueberry cobbler. Listen, that KFC buffet was, oh my goodness. And for about $10. It might have been $8.99. It was so cheap. Listen, I told that we used to tear that KFC up. But let's continue.
In your blood?
It's just light skin. I like dark women. I darker skinned women.
Okay.
That's just my own preference. But she's very pretty. I like the way that she's made. I like her outfit and the shoes go with the belt and just everything look perfect on her. Just the light skin. That's just my own preference.
Okay, got it. Now, is he someone that's your type?
No.
Okay, why not?
Well, I mean, I just heard a little bit of mindset and, you know, I do understand we have our preferences and stuff like that, but I kind of feel like colorism is a thing that's been kind of big in our culture. So, you know, it just kind of sounds a little, you know, teeter-tottering on the line of like a little bit colorism, but I do understand we have our preferences.
So the guy in this video, first of all, what he's doing is, and this is black men they're so weak. Now imagine if he said, I don't like dark-skinned women. Everybody would be upset. But nobody's upset if he says, I don't like light-skinned women. Think about that. Both sides are saying, I don't like the lighter skin, I don't like the darker skin. But only one gets demonized and one gets celebrated. Now, saying that you only date dark-skinned women is equivalent to a man saying, good morning, queen. It's the same thing. Good morning, Queen. Good morning, my Eve. It's the same thing. It is a brown-nosing, pandering statement. It is a way to get brownie points with these dark-skinned women that have low self-esteem. Now, I'm not saying that all dark-skinned women have low self-esteem. I'm saying that I've noticed they have low self-esteem because they're under this delusion that people care about their skin color more than they actually do in a negative way.
Nick, why'd you end up popping your balloon?
It's just light skin. I like dark women. I darker skinned women.
Okay.
That's just my own preference. But she's very pretty. I like the way that she's made. I like her outfit and the shoes go with the belt and just everything look perfect on her. Just the light skin. That's just my own preference.
Okay, I got
Again, if a guy gets on this show and says, I only date light-skinned women, he's going to get condemned. I left a comment on this video and people still comment on it. I said, what's the difference between a person saying, I don't date light skin versus I don't date dark skin? There's no difference. If we're talking about colorism, it's the same thing. It's just that Black people have propagandized darker skin. When they talk about Black is beautiful, they exclude all the shades that aren't the darkest shade. In other words, Black people are represented by dark skinned people, meaning that when you say, I'm proud to be Black, they're going to show you that. Blacker the berry, sweeter the juice, they're going to show you that. Strength, unity, they're going to show you that. Think about that. Black people come in all shades, but when it comes to giving positive attributes, they only mention one. Why? Because they try to get the furthest away from white as possible. I only date dark-skinned women is a simp statement. It's just a simpish statement. You can have a preference, but it's the light skin. It's because you're light skin. He's just a simp. He's just catering to get his DM flooded with dark-skinned women. That's all he's trying to do. And all he's gonna do, ladies, is he's gonna sleep with all of y'all. All these dark-skinned women gonna jump in his DM, and guess what he's gonna do? He gonna sleep with all of y'all.
Got it. Now, is he someone that's your type?
No.
Okay, why not?
Well, I mean, I just heard a little bit of mindset, and I do understand we have our preferences and stuff like that, but I kind of feel like colorism is a thing that's been kind of big in our culture. So, it just kind of sounds a little, teeter-tottering on the line of like a little bit colorism, but I do understand we have our preferences.
Right, PB. The lighter you are, the more you get hated on by Black people. It's true. True statement. That is a true statement. Black folks are looking for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, representation is everything. I honor that, and I try and represent myself in a certain type of way, and represent for us, by the way that I carry myself, the way that I speak, the way that I act. So, representation is everything, because if you have to see it to believe it, even if it's just one. And I think that that's so special, especially with us honoring Althea Gibson, because she was, the first woman of color to show up, and, pave the way for us and everyone to be here, honestly. So, and it's special to me. My sister is a former FAMU rattler. So when I was walking through the tunnel and I saw the band, I was like, y'all got a band again? I want to hear, so, it was really, really cool even for that to be able to merge the worlds of, tennis and even HBCU, because, it's such a rich history and rich culture. My sister, she got mad at me because I said I'm an honorary Bison, and she's a rattler. So, shout out to FAMU. I think she'll like that. But, yeah, representation is everything. And I'm really, happy to have, won today. And also I'm really proud of, Sean Holcomb and the USTA for being able to kind of bring a piece of our culture and our history into tennis.
So this young lady, I'm already tired of her. I don't even know her name. I know she plays tennis. They're already making her this black woman superhero. She already got the attitude. She got the nails. She got the snarl on her. Look at her face. She got the snarl on her face. She got it's just this whole black woman. It's just disgusting. It's unladylike. It's feminist. It's propaganda. It's programming. It's Marxism. It's communism. It's everything. This whole black woman attitude, black woman, how we got to exist. And it's disgusting. I don't even know who she is. And I'm already tired of her. Representation matters. Who are you representing, ma'am? Who are you representing? You see, black people say they aren't a monolith, but then they get on camera and say, I'm representing the entire race. If you're not a monolith, black people, then how can a single person represent you? She's shouting out FAMU, Howard University. It's just propaganda. Instead of her just being a tennis player where race doesn't matter, she got to have this look on her face all the time. She was in a match with one girl. She was a white girl. And at the end of the match, the white girl was saying that she wasn't professional. She wasn't educated or something. They made it all about race. That was all about race. Then she went there talking about, being, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. This is horrible. Dear black women, this is not attractive. No sensible, self-respecting man that's worth his weight in gold is going to marry you like this. He's not going to do it. Now, you can marry a beta, simp, cuck. You can marry a guy that you're going to be able to rule over, but the type of man that you need, the type of man that you really want, he's not going to marry you. Nobody's putting up with this. Could you imagine living with this? Could you imagine dealing with this? Look what Serena married. She married a simp. Look what Sierra married. She married a simp. They marry simps. Prudence, you might be right, Prudence. She may be a stud. You're right. Prudence says, do you think she want to marry a man? Maybe she doesn't. You're right. You're right. Tyson said, I don't like her, but I like her. Wallow from Philly made a very important statement at one of his workshops by using the whole black thing. It humbled everybody in the room. I wonder what he said. I want to hear that. But listen, I don't know who she is. Okay, thank you, Willie Doc. Her name is Taylor Townsend. Taylor Townsend. Taylor, you're already making me get fatigued from listening to you. I'm already listening to you and I'm exhausted. I can't even watch you play tennis. I'm so tired. Please stop this nonsense. Michael J. Fox died? What? Michael J. Fox? No. Man, he ain't dead. Man, he ain't dead. Man, stop playing with me, man. All right, post a link, please. Thank you. Thank you, Cruise Missile, for the super stick. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. always supporting. Thank you. All Production, thank you so much for the super sticker. And All Production, again, thank you so much for the super sticker. And Vintage Goods Willie, more like Escape from the Planet of Apes than Mars. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. He's referring to the guy saying that black folks built pyramids on Mars. Listen, I love y'all. And that's my time. I will be back on Saturday. I want y'all to have a blessed evening. Thank y'all for supporting me and tuning into my live. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much.